growth-oriented, their future will rise to meet those actions. Habits are like seeds. You plant them every day with your choices, and eventually they grow into results. You can't plan chaos and expect peace. You can't plan procrastination and expect progress. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are, and who you are becomes what you live. Most people think their future is built on big moments or lucky breaks, but in reality, it's built in the unseen hours. It's built in the early mornings, the late nights, the decisions you make when no one is around. That's when character is formed. That's when discipline is tested. And that's when the habits that define your future take root. You might not see the outcome right away, but habits are patient. They wait. They build slowly, shaping your identity, your confidence, and your capacity. And when the pressure comes, because it always does, it's your habits that will carry you or collapse on you. If you train yourself to rise, to push, to stay focused, then pressure won't break you. It'll reveal how ready you are. Habits are not just about what you do. They're about what you believe about yourself. Every time you follow through on a positive habit, you send a message to your brain that you are disciplined, capable, and worthy of success. Every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken that belief. So the stakes are higher than most people realize. The small habit of keeping promises to yourself, showing up when it's uncomfortable, choosing discipline over distraction, is not just shaping your results, it's shaping your identity. That's why people who take control of their habits begin to move different. They carry themselves with a quiet kind of power because they know they've done the work. They don't need to fake confidence. It grows naturally from consistency. You can look at a person's habits and almost predict where they'll be in 5 years. Are they investing in their mind or wasting time? Are they surrounding themselves with people who push them higher or people who pull them back? Are they building systems that support their goals, or are they winging it day after day, hoping things will magically change? The truth is, nothing changes until your habits do. You can dream as big as you want, but if your daily actions don't match that dream, it will always stay out of reach. Habits create alignment between your desires and your direction. They bring your vision out of your head and into your life. They are the daily vote you cast for the future you want to live. You must train your mind harder than you train your body. Most people focus so much on the physical, the external, the visible part of their life. They go to the gym, they watch what they eat, they try to look good on the outside, but inside, their minds are soft. They're strong in body, but weak in thought. And the truth is, your body will only go as far as your mind allows. You can lift weights, run for miles, eat clean, but if your mind is filled with doubt, fear, excuses, and negativity, you'll still fall short when life gets hard. That's why training your mind has to become your #1 priority. It's the control center of everything you do. Your decisions, your focus, your discipline, your reactions. They all start in your mind. If your mindset isn't sharp, your goals won't stand a chance. And mental training isn't just about positive thinking. It's about developing toughness, clarity, and control. It means learning how to handle pressure, how to bounce back from failure, how to keep moving forward when things don't go your way. Life is unpredictable and emotions can be intense, but a trained mind doesn't react to everything. It pauses, it thinks, it responds with purpose. That's a skill. It takes effort to develop that kind of control, to not let every challenge knock you off course. But once you do, you become dangerous in the best way. You become someone who doesn't fold when it's difficult. You become someone who keeps their head when others lose theirs. That's the kind of strength that lasts. Training your mind means feeding it the right things. Just like your body needs good nutrition, your mind needs good information. What you listen to, what you read, what you say to yourself, all of it matters. You can't expect to think powerfully if you're constantly consuming negativity. You have to protect your mental space. That means staying away from toxic conversations, limiting time with people who drain your energy, and choosing what you allow to influence you. Read books that challenge you. Listen to people who inspire you. Speak to yourself with strength and belief. Your internal voice becomes your reality. If you train your mind to think like a winner, act like a winner, and push like a winner, you'll become one. Even if you weren't born with the advantages others had, another part of mental training is doing hard things on purpose. When you do things that are uncomfortable, your brain starts to understand that discomfort doesn't mean danger, it means growth. The more you push yourself into situations that stretch you, the more confidence you build. You stop being afraid of challenge. You stop running from pressure. Instead, you learn how to thrive under it. That's what separates average from elite, not talent, but mental resilience. The ability to stay focused, calm, and determined even when everything around you is chaotic. When your mind is strong, your body will follow. Your actions will follow. Your habits will follow. Your entire life will begin to level up. Because your thoughts are no longer a prison, they become the fuel that drives your greatness. The right habits will keep you going when motivation disappears. Motivation is great, but it's not reliable. Some days you wake up fired up, ready to conquer the world, and other days you feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. That's just human nature. You can't count on feeling inspired every single morning, but you can count on your habits if you've built them strong enough. Habits don't ask how you feel. They don't depend on your mood or your circumstances. They just execute. That's the beauty of creating powerful habits. They carry you through the lows, the doubt, the stress, the laziness, and the fear. They act like a system that keeps you moving forward even when your emotional energy is low. When you're motivated, everything feels easy. You go to the gym, you read the book, you make the calls, you stay focused. But what separates high performers from everyone else is what they do when that motivation is gone. Winners don't stop because excitement faded. They don't give up because it's boring now or because progress feels slow. They keep going because they've created systems in their life that run automatically. They've made discipline a routine, not a reaction. They understand that emotions come and go, but results only come from what you do consistently. Building the right habits takes time, and it takes honesty. You have to ask yourself, what do I want my future to look like? Then work backward and identify the daily habits that support that future. If you want to be fit, then working out and eating clean need to become non-negotiables. If you want to be wealthy, then saving money, investing, and learning about financial growth must become a part of your everyday life. If you want to be confident, then you need to build habits around keeping promises to yourself and stepping outside of your comfort zone. You can't fake habits. They either exist in your life or they don't, and your outcomes will always reflect them. The problem is, many people quit too soon. They start something with excitement, but don't give it enough time to become part of who they are. They rely on hype instead of structure, but hype fades, emotion fades, life gets messy. That's where your habits step in and take over. When you don't feel like showing up, a habit says, we show up anyway. When you feel like quitting, a habit says, this is what we do. It becomes your internal operating system. You don't have to argue with yourself every day about whether or not to do the work. You just do it because it's who you are now. Those who build the right habits develop a kind of quiet power. They don't need external validation to stay on track. They don't need applause or attention to stay committed. Their habits give them momentum, direction, and purpose. They're not constantly starting over because they've created stability in their routine. Even when life throws challenges their way, they have a foundation they can rely on. That foundation doesn't crack under pressure because it was built with intention, discipline, and consistency.